بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We begin in the name of Allah and by sending peace and greetings upon our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and upon his family and his Sahaba and everyone who follows them until the Day of Judgment. I want us to think for a second about everything we've heard about the people of Gaza from the speakers today and everything we've seen on our phones and on our social media apps over the past few months. And I want us to reflect on the way that they've exemplified tawakkul and iman in ways that we could never even fathom. And then I want us to think about the iman and tawakkul that we've exemplified in our own lives. And I want us to think about the ways that we're falling short in meeting the example that the people of Gaza have set for us, that the Sahaba have set for us. And I want us to focus on a statement from the Prophet ﷺ, where he said, "Ajaban li amri al-mu'min." Isn't it so crazy what happens to someone when they believe in God? Inna amrahu kullahu khair. That only good things can happen to someone when they believe in God. Everything that happens to them is good. وَلَيْسَ ذَلِكَ لِأَحَدٍ إِلَّا لِلْمُؤْمِنِ. And no one else experiences something like this. For other people, they can experience good things and bad things and everything in between. But for a Muslim, you can only experience good. إِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ سَرَّاء شَكَرَ فَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُ. When something happens, when you're happy and you're excited, you get good grades or you get into an amazing university or you get a good job offer, you're living in comfort and you feel like everything is working out for you. You become grateful for it, so it's a good thing. When أَصَابَتْهُ ضَرَّاء, when something bad happens, or when, I guess not something bad, but when something happens and it's difficult, you get sick or you lose someone close to you, or you lose your job, or you get rejected from a school or a program that you really wanted, and you feel upset and you feel exhausted, sabara, فَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُ. You become patient in enduring it, so it's a good thing. And the reason why the Prophet ﷺ said that this only happens to people who believe in God, it's because that if you don't believe in God, that when you see everything working out for you the way you wanted, and you're happy, and you're comfortable, and you're excited, you think it's because of you. You think it's because of your own intelligence, and your strengths, and your talent, and your skills, and the connections that you've made, and the hard work that you've put in. And you forget that إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَقْدِرُ. That it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who gave you everything that you have, and it doesn't come from yourself. And if you don't believe in God, and things aren't working out, then you start to pity yourself, and you worry, and you stress, and you become overcome by these emotions, and you forget that وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a plan, and He's taking care of you in ways that you don't even have the capacity to understand. One of the senior scholars of our time, when we were asking him about why young people leave Islam, why is it so common for young people to leave Islam? Why are we in a situation as Muslims in America where 1 in 4 Muslim kids who are raised here end up leaving Islam? And when we asked him about this, he said that if we internalize this hadith, and we made our youth internalize this hadith, then they wouldn't feel the need to leave Islam. Because if we understand growing up here and living here, that the good grades are only good if we're grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the good internships and the good universities are only good if we're grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for them, and the nice house that we're living in, and the nice clothes, and the nice cars, and the nice vacations that we get to take, they're only nice if we're grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we wouldn't have the audacity to think about losing our faith and leaving Islam. And if we understand, growing up here and living in this country, that the perceived failures and the difficulty making friends, or the racial slurs and the Islamophobia, the tough situations at home, whether it's financial circumstances or it's toxic relationships, that in these difficulties, even if we can't find peace and comfort in the people around us, that we can still find peace with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we would have no reason to feel like He abandoned us or He has given up on us to the point where we think about leaving Islam. So what we all need to remind ourselves is that inna amrahu kullahu khair, that everything that happens to a believer is good. As individuals, as young Muslims growing up here, as families, as friends, as parents, as an ummah, what we need to remind ourselves of is that when we believe in God, when we truly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and when we put our trust in Him, then we will remember Him when things are easy and we'll be grateful. And we'll remember Him when things are difficult and we'll be patient. And that's what we see in the people of Gaza right now. When we look at them through the pictures on our phone and we read their stories that are circulating in our group chats, we see their tawakkul, and we see their gratitude, and we see their patience. And I ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants us that level of tawakkul and that level of gratitude for the immense blessings that He has given us, and that patience to endure the difficulties in our life. And I ask that He grants our Muslim youth confidence and strength in their faith, and places power in their voices as they stand on the forefront of the fight for justice, and that He alleviates the pain and the suffering of our brothers and sisters in Gaza and all over the world, and He grants them a swift victory over their oppressors. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar.